Don't know where this clip's gonna fit in any of my videos, but I'm in the middle of trying to like decide which network carrier I want to switch to because I have an iPhone SE right now, and I know that once Apple stops giving updates to it, like the new iOS comes out, it's not like the network carriers are no longer going to support this phone. They're going to cut service to it. So I need to find a network carrier that does support service to it. So I was like looking through my old iPhone 5 that's already had its service cut, and I was like, who's going to support that? But in the process of all this, because that has nothing to do with what I'm going to say, I found my Motorola Razr, which apparently still works. It's super like dark because it's sort of just like charging right now in this corner, but you can see it said charging battery, and the whole phone lights up and it like works, and as soon as it charges I'm going to make a whole video about it. Okay, I got my phone to work. It like legitimately works as like a phone, and I was going through all the ringtones and they like unlocked a memory in my mind. It's crazy how vividly I remember these ringtones. Like, hold on. Let me play this one for you. This is what my phone used to be set to when I used this phone. And then this one. This one fucked me up because I completely forgot that I knew what the sound was. It's such a funky beat. It's so 2006, and I love it so much. But this is like the legitimate phone that I used from like, how long ago was it? Like 13 years ago. So it was like 2007. That sounds about right. From like 2006, 2007 until like 7 years ago. So 2013. I used this phone for like a good 6 years. And I still have it, and it still works because I take care of my shit. And as a way to truly just like reap in on all the like nostalgia retro trend going on, I was trying to look into if I could actually like use this as a real phone. And wouldn't you know, if you go to phil.ting.com, we love Philip DeFranco, I can. This phone still works on some cell's towers somewhere. So I'm gonna get a phone plan for this, and this will now be my phone. You think I'm kidding, but just like watch me do it. Because yeah, sure, I still need like a smartphone to like exist in the world. But like for making calls, if I don't want to hear your voice on my phone. Like, oh, I love it. And it's so small and so beautiful. That's me when I was a young child when I first got this phone on it. And like the camera still works. You can still take like front facing selfies like an icon. I don't know. It's like truly a no-brainer that I would want to use this phone. Like it truly like works. Like it still works as like a real phone and shit. Like it like legitimately works. Wow, I'm truly so excited. I'm gonna use my old phone number and everything because apparently I can still use my phone number that I used in this phone because I still have the SIM card, I still have the battery, I still have the charger. It still like works because I take care of my shit. For 6 years I had this phone. I only lost it once, and I only dropped it a couple times, so it still perfectly works. And I'm just wow, I'm truly so excited. I've never been more excited for anything in my life. This is crazy. This is wow, amazing. Like the phone, the date on it says 10/10/2012 because that's the last time I ever used this phone. What a simpler time that was. Ugh, to be living in 2012 right now. That's the dream. Wow. That's just crazy. I really didn't think it was gonna work because I was just like, I thought that I tried to like use it before and like it just wouldn't charge. But like it charges. And like I love how like there's a tiny screen on the front that like shows like your background screen and like the time and your battery, and that's all you really truly need in a phone. And it's so small and it's beautiful because I hate big phones. I still have an iPhone SE because I used to have an iPhone 5, but then I had an iPhone 5 truly right after I got this phone. I have it right here actually. I had an iPhone 5. I'm covering the camera because I don't trust the government. I had this phone. This is the first cell phone I ever had. I got it in 2007, as you can tell from the style of the phone. It's the pink Motorola Razr. I was that bitch. And then when the iPhone came out, I think this was like brand new at the time. This actually isn't my original iPhone because I use my phone all the time. And I hate when it just shuts off without me wanting it to, so I set it to like never actually shut off. So many times I'll just like be using it when I'm sleeping, and then I'll fall asleep and it'll just be on all night. And I have a really thick case on it in order to keep it safe, and it's the case I'm actually using on my phone right now. I've never changed my case in like the 7 years that I've had an iPhone, because it protects my phone. Do you know how many times I've dropped my phone face first? It should have cracked by now. None of my phones have ever cracked because this fucking case is perfection. It's amazing, and it protects my phone, and I love it. It's not even like a real brand because there's no brand associated with the style, but it's like my favorite case ever, and they don't make like this style of case for any phones bigger than this size. So I'm like, why would I ever upgrade for the danger and for a size that I don't want? Because I already sort of hate this size. It's like super, super tiny. It's like a 4-inch screen, but it already barely fits in my pocket. So I'm like, why would I ever want a bigger phone? At some point, you're just getting a tablet, and that's fucking stupid. Like, the whole idea of smartwatches to me is idiotic. It's so crazy that your phone is so big and cumbersome that you needed a mini phone on like your arm. That's insane. Just get a small phone. But what was I saying? My phone. I had this phone from like 2007, like I said, 2013 when the iPhone 5 came out, and then I got the iPhone 5, and I had an iPhone 5 until like probably like 2015, 2016, and then the battery pack started expanding and I needed to get a new iPhone 5, and then I got a new iPhone 5, and then around sometime like last year or so, I was with T-Mobile. Fuck T-Mobile. Truly fuck all phone services. It's a capitalist system and I hate it. They basically all have a monopoly. There's only 3 major competitors and they all kind of suck. But T-Mobile is the least suckiest, so I have T-Mobile right now. But T-Mobile, they were like, we're gonna cut off service to your iPhone 5 because Apple stopped giving it like software updates, and there's some weird thing where like it won't be compatible with the LTE cell towers or whatever, even though if it was compatible before, it still should be compatible unless you just got rid of all the. I don't understand how it works, but it's stupid. And they were like, we're gonna stop giving data to your phone. I was like, oh well, I can't have that. So I had to upgrade to the next possible phone that would still have the same size, because I strongly hate the idea of getting a bigger phone. I don't want one. I hate it, and it makes me so angry. And I'm not going to allow Apple to do that to me. So now I have an iPhone SE, and it's the last generation of this size that I could have, and it's rumored that they're going to be cut, like the service to them is also going to be cut when they update to iOS 14 in like September. So I need to find an alternative to it. I've already found that like there are other like smaller phone companies that will still like service like these older iPhones and stuff. Like it's just not like the big competitors, and I don't care enough about my phone service to like stick with it. Especially since I hate how Apple has a monopoly on my life. I have a MacBook, I have an iMac, and I have an iPhone. And they're all so fucking expensive, and they're all kind of awful, but like everything revolves around Apple. Like all of the big people put like their apps on Apple. They put their podcast in the iTunes store. They put their music on iTunes. Like it's all Apple. So I feel like I need to like, in order to be like in like and a part of everything, I need to have an Apple. And also just like Androids are just so Androids are so ugly. I just hate the look of Android phones. I don't like the Apple phones, but I like how they're simple. Like everyone just like, oh, it's just like a slab of a phone, and I'm like, that's fine with me. This is simple, this is fine, that's all I want. So I'm very against upgrading my phone. I don't want a bigger phone. I know that Apple just came out with an iPhone SE, but it's not an SE, it's just an 8 because the size of the screen is not the same size. I was so angry when I walked into T-Mobile to like get my new phone, because I was like, I know that they're gonna shut off service to the SE sometime soon, so I'm gonna have to get a new iPhone, I guess. So I went to the T-Mobile store and I looked at the phone. I was like, this is not the same size as the phone. Apparently it's not even an iPhone SE, it's an iPhone 8. So I'm like, why would you call it an SE if it's not actually an iPhone SE? And the guy at the T-Mobile store was like, you just need to get a new phone. And I'm like, haha, fuck you. No, I'm not. I truly refuse to. At some point, it just is out of spite. I'm like, because Apple clearly still wants my money. And I'm like, you're not going to get it if you're not going to give me what I want. Like, I'm not paying like $1,000 for a phone I don't want. Even if the iPhone SE is only like $400, that's still like a lot of money for a phone I don't want to have. I want a phone that's this size. I would love a phone that was smaller. I truly want one of those smartphones that are flip phones, but none of them work. Like, all of them suck. Like, I wanted the Motorola Razr. I wanted the upgrade to this phone that's a smartphone. But, like, everybody has shown in the reviews that the bend doesn't work. I don't want it to bend at the screen. I want a DS. As you can see, I have an issue with letting go of the past. I still use my DSi. It's my newest console, and I still fucking use it because it still works. Why would I get rid of it? But I want a device like this. It's a screen at the top and a screen at the bottom, and there's no screen in the middle. I don't need it to be connected. Just, like, give me this, where it bends in the middle and it fits fine in my pocket. That's all that I want. That's all that I want. I want a design like that. But everybody's like, oh, we need the whole screen to bend. And I'm like, we don't. No, we don't. Just give me a smartphone that also bends, so that's small. That's all that I want. I want a phone that's small, that's still a smartphone. But, like, they don't want to do that for me. They're like, oh, we need a bigger screen. And I'm like, no, you don't. At some point, you're just getting a tablet. You're just getting a tablet that can make phone calls. Like, why do you need that? You don't. You don't need it. It's stupid and I hate it. But as a sort of counterculture protest, I'm deciding to not upgrade my iPhone until Apple comes out with the size that I want, which I don't think will ever happen, so I'm never upgrading my iPhone. Because if I don't have to, I'm not going to. People will take my money to give service to phones like this, so I'm going to give them my money, because that's what I want to do. And I also am so against... I was thinking about, like, changing my phone just because I was like, if I'm going to get a new phone, I don't want it to be Apple, because I don't want to give Apple my money, because that's just sort of, like, giving in, because... Like, logically, people would be like, oh, a 4-inch screen to a 4.7-inch screen, that's nothing, just, like, upgrade the phone, you're not even gonna notice it. But, like, that's just sort of, like, it's, like, if you give them an inch, they will take a mile. Like, okay, you upgrade to the 4.7, sure, but then once that phone goes out of service, then you're like, oh, well, the next size up is just, like, a 5.4, I could just upgrade to a 5.4, and then that goes out of service, and then you're just slowly upgrading your phone with whatever Apple gives you. And I refuse to give them that inch. It's sort of like, it's like a gateway. It's like a gateway. Like, you just upgrade your phone a little bit, and then the next thing you know, you're getting an 8-inch iPhone, and you're like, what the fuck happened? I don't want that to happen to me. So I'm not even gonna give them that little bit. I'm not. I refuse. I upgraded to an SE. I upgraded from my 5. I gave them that little bit. And now they're trying to do that again to me, and I refuse. I refuse to do that to them. But I also refuse to get rid of all my Apple products, because I've already invested so much money into getting all of my devices to, like, sync together, and they don't even fucking do that properly. It makes me so angry. Because there's this whole stupid thing with iTunes where they want you to, like, basically sync your music between all your devices, and I don't want to fucking do that. I want different music on all my devices. I don't think that's too much to ask for. But they don't want you to do that. I don't understand why. And, like, what I do is I manually sync it between my iTunes across all of my devices, because there's a whole thing where you can, like, instead of clicking the box that says, like, sync the music, you can click add manually, and I do that between my laptop and my desktop, but now it's not working, and, like, all the music that I add from my desktop, like, the album artwork gets all messed up. So I tried to contact Apple support. I was on the phone with them for like an hour, and they were like, well, we basically just don't know what's going on, and I think they're just mad at you because you can't, like, just get music from wherever, because that's, like, illegal. And I'm like, I get the logic behind you can't just, like, connect your phone to whatever device you want and just get music that way because they want you to pay for it or whatever, but I'm like, all these devices have my Apple ID on them. They're all clearly my devices. I don't get why I can't just take the music that I want, especially since the whole original idea behind adding, like, your own tracks into iTunes was, like, if you're a personal music producer, you should be able to, like, put your music into your personal iTunes and get it onto your different devices, like, and there's no way for Apple to distinguish what is your original track and what's a track that you just torrented off the internet. So, like, why are they just, like, now drawing that line saying anything that you add, like, personally is, like, illegal now? And even if it is, who cares? Like, I don't want to purchase music off of iTunes. I like having CDs because I like having a physical thing, because an album isn't just, like, the music of the album. Like, people put time and effort into creating, like, a CD. There's artwork that goes into it. It's a whole design thing. Sometimes there's posters in them, and, like, the CD itself, it's like a piece of art within itself. I don't just want the music. I want the whole package. And I like having CDs. Like, they're nice. I don't want to just have digital music. I think that's lame. And it's annoying. Sometimes I have to. Like with Glee, not all of their music comes on CDs, which makes me very angry. Like, sometimes they only release their music in iTunes. That's stupid and annoying. Apple does not make it easy, is my point, to even sync their own devices between each other. So I'm like, why am I committing all this money to this company when the whole reason that I'm doing it isn't even working? Like, I wanted to get all Apple products so that it was easier for me to, like, work with all my devices together, but they don't even do that. Like, a thing that I wanted to be able to do was use my other devices as speakers, you know, like, basically Bluetooth connect. Like, if I have a song or a podcast downloaded to my phone, but I want to play it through the speakers of my laptop, like, I can't do that, and that's stupid. And it's also difficult for me to, like, get my music just, like, shared between my devices, which I think should be really simple considering that they're all my devices. I paid for all of them. They all have my Apple ID on them. I get if it's just, I get, like, if they won't let you do it if it's, like, a different device that's logged into, like, a different Apple ID, but they're all clearly my devices. I have the password for all of them and everything. Like, I don't know why they won't let me do that. And it's just a recent thing that it's not allowing me to do it. It's really annoying and I don't like it. Because I don't want all the music that's on my desktop onto my phone. Because I have a very large library on my desktop because the space on my desktop is so much bigger than the space on my phone. Like, that's also just, like, another thing. I can't download all the music from my computer onto my phone. Because, like, there's, like, a terabyte on here. There's 120 gigabytes on here. Like, I can't do that. Like, and I have so much more music on here because when I'm doing work on my desktop, I like to shuffle through all of my music because I buy a lot of CDs and I download them all onto my computer so that, like, eventually when I'm doing work, I can, like, listen to new songs and just be like, oh, I do like this, oh, I don't like this, so then I can figure out whether or not I want to add them to my phone, because my phone is just the creme de la creme. The very best of my music is on my phone because that's what I want to listen to when I'm out and about. I only want good music. I don't want to just, like, start hearing music when I'm, like, doing things out in the world. It's just stupid. I don't like how Apple does this. And they want to take all my money. Like, their stuff is so fucking expensive, but, like, for why? I didn't even really want to buy this laptop. I just needed this because I needed a new laptop because I had, like, a Microsoft Edge. I was a PC person for a very, very, very long time. I'll make that very clear. I had PC because I was really into gaming. Like I said, I think I might have mentioned this before, I was, like, an early adopter into Minecraft. Like, when it first came out in, like, beta, I had a Minecraft account, and in order to get that, like, it had really specific, like, RAM and, like, graphics card options that you needed to have, and, like, I need to, like, custom get basically the parts for my PC. I had a really nice PC for a while, but then that started to get outdated because I made it in, like, 2012, 2013, and then it was, like, 2017, and I was like, I need a new laptop. Well, I need a new computer. So then I don't actually remember which one I got first. I think I got my laptop first because I needed a laptop for school, and I had a Microsoft, like, Edge Pixel thingy, and I just hated the interface, like, so fucking much, and it made me, like, genuinely so upset that I, like, cried. I hated the interface so much, and it was so hard to use. It was not user intuitive at all. So I, like, I returned it to Best Buy, and I was just like, I just need an Apple. Just give me an Apple. Mostly just because all of the YouTubers that I watch all had Apples, so I was just like, it has to be good, it has to be cool. Mostly just because, like, I wanted to have, like, that status symbol. I think that was a large part of it, was like, oh, all these cool people that I know have an Apple, I should also get an Apple so that I'm cool. But also, like, MacBooks are really nice. The user interface of an iOS, I'm just so used to, like, using an iOS, I couldn't even imagine switching to an Android, is another one of the big reasons why I don't want to get an Android. Also just because none of their phones are any smaller than the ones I already have, you know? But I just love the MacBook that I have, except for the fact that I don't, because it's stupid. I wanted to get a MacBook from 2012, is what I wanted to do. I'm really, like, a fan of the old styles of technology. Like, I love this phone. I love the old heavy MacBooks. I wanted to get, like, a refurbished MacBook that was, like, 200 pounds, the thick ones, because I was like, if it's thick, I know I could trust it not to, like, snap and break. Because this motherfucker, this MacBook, I just had to get repaired, like, 3-4 months ago. I feel like I made a video about it because the screen cracked, because it's so fucking thin and stupid and useless. I hate it. I hate that I have to have this. That's why I am like, I'm gonna use these 3 devices until they're completely, like, dead and obsolete and I, like, actually can't use them anymore, and then I'm switching back to PCs. Because I know how to use, like, a Microsoft computer. I don't love it, but I'm not as attached to it as I am with my phone, you know? Like, And my phone doesn't really do anything with these two devices that I actually wanted to do. Like the interface between them is not that useful. I don't see the benefit in having all Apple products anymore, because the benefits that I thought I was going to have, I don't actually have. So once these two become obsolete in like 5, 10 years, I'm just getting a regular Microsoft computer, because I grew up with PCs. I know how to use a PC. The interface on that one is just as easy to use now as this one, so I don't really care. Especially since I basically just use Microsoft and Google applications on my Mac anyways. Like I don't use Safari. Who the hell uses Safari on a desktop? I use Safari on my phone because it's not awful on my phone, but on my desktop, horrible. I only use Chrome. I use like Microsoft, like Word, Excel, all of that. I don't use any of the fucking things on here except for iMovie to edit these videos. So I feel like I'd be missing out on that. But like I feel like at some point with the money that I save from not buying an Apple, I could just buy an editing software. I could just buy Final Cut Pro or something, and then I'm like literally set for life. That's all that I need. But the point of all of this was basically I hate Apple, and I hate how how I've let them take a hold of my life and all of my devices for literally no reason, because it's stupid. Like, I wanted to just have a nice iPhone 5 because I was like, oh, people have iPhones. I do love having an iPhone. I think it's a lot better than having an Android. I love the user interface. I think it's just so much sleeker and it just looks cooler. I just like the look of an iPhone way more than I like the look of an Android. And it's also, again, just like a status symbol. Like, who wants to see that green bubble? It's ew. I don't want it. Like, a lot of people just think it's whatever and they don't care, but I care. I don't want to have an Android. I truly don't. In my phone, I don't. So I'm going to have this iPhone as long as possible. It seems like these other companies will gladly take my money to have an iPhone SE for the rest of my life. So that would be wonderful until Apple wises up and is like, we'll make a smaller iPhone. Or until they make their flip phone. Once that like comes out and it's actually like a workable flip phone, I'll probably upgrade my phone just because I want a small phone that fits in my pocket. But until then, I'm going to be holding on to the past. I'm going to be holding on to these phones because these phones are so much better than whatever's on the market right now. I like having a physical copy of something because that's my body telling me to shut up.